Hi everybody, this is Lucy and this is Athena, my dog. What's going on? Today, this is going to be part one of a series for my Artist Alley preparation setup. I'm going to split it into a 3-part series, so just so that you're aware, if this isn't really what you're going to be interested in. The first part is going to be more the research into how I'm going to set up my table, what my aesthetic is going to be, the color scheme, branding, all of that kind of thing. The second part is, in this part we will also talk about having my different price point items, what I'm going to sell, what price I'm going to do them at, and that kind of thing. The second part will be more about actually getting those items organized, so preparing them, making them, all of that kind of stuff. And then the third part will be the actual convention day. Hopefully I can get a little bit of recording done on the day. I expect it to be really busy. It's 2022, so a lot of the stuff has, a lot of the big conventions were shut down for 2 years, so they're expecting them to be overly busy. So we'll see how we go, and then I can, give you my thoughts as a first time convention artist, what it was like. I could definitely, if it goes well, I will keep doing these conventions and, travel around to different states and stuff if need be, but I feel like in Europe and in the US it sounds like, at least from my perspective without ever having been, they have conventions every single weekend. They have different states and different towns always having things, and some of them are very small time and some of them are much larger. Australia has not many conventions at all, but I think they're quite big conventions when they do happen. So that's how that's going to go. Cool. So I guess part one, I have a massive to-do list. I've taken some time off off work, off my day job on annual leave to get some of this stuff done, because I'm a little bit worried that I won't be able to. So let's have a look. So I have to figure out my color scheme and aesthetic for the table, which I think I have in mind. I have a tablecloth that's going to be round, so I've just bought a piece of fabric and I've got to sew that. And then set up a fake table, and sort of a mock-up of how I'm going to do this and make sure everything's going to fit and all of that kind of stuff. I have to finish my Bone Zone painting. The Bone Zone is like a Halloween art show that I've agreed to be a part of. It is in 2 weeks time, so I need to do the whole painting, get it framed up and sent into them, as well as all this other stuff. I also have to finish a digital art piece that I'm creating in the dimensions of a phone wallpaper, and I'll have a poster for that with a QR code that people can scan, save it to their phone, and then it's a little freebie that we can give to people, probably in exchange for their email address, and I'll have a look at setting up an email list in the coming year. What else do we have? Okay, so I've got to run inventory on the stock that I already have, and with those numbers I will know what I need to order, what has been selling and what hasn't been selling. I also am going to order they're going to be my limited edition prints, so pieces of artwork that are printed on a higher quality paper, and then I'm also going to edit them by painting glow in the dark or silver foiling or some kind of fancy paint. I've got a few options here that I'm going to have a look at doing. So I've got to order them and get them done up. I think that's pretty much everything. A few trips to the shop to get some paints, some bits and pieces that are going to go around my table. Yeah, I think that's pretty much everything for now. Alright, we'll check back soon. Peace. Okay, so one of the first things that we're going to look at in actually getting the table set up is, what is your aesthetic? So what I mean by that is, like if you have a logo, this will make it a lot easier because you can kind of work with that. But generally speaking, what is going to be your color scheme? What are people going to see overall when they look at your table? And when you're thinking about things like color scheme and like pictures and stuff like that, you want them to complement your art. So my art is, I suppose I would probably describe it mostly as dark fantasy. So it does use a lot of dark blues and greens, and sometimes reds and stuff. So the color that I decided on, I've been doing a whole bunch of research on like how people can set up their table, you know, are they going to have a backdrop or are they going to have like a boxed in shape with grid cubes and stuff like that. And I found a table that I think looks really, really cute, which has a brown tablecloth and then a blue tablecloth over top. So generally speaking, my aesthetic is going to be like a leather brown color. And I think that kind of fits because I do fantasy art, so I can use like leather and things like that to make that work as well. You decide that first, then everything you buy from then on is going to work with that. So, you know, it means if I'm going with brown, I can use wood and like weaving things and leather and that kind of stuff because it's all going to go with it. Where if I go and I buy a basket to hold some prints and it's bright pink, it's just going to look really strange with everything else that's on my table. So that's just something to think about. And then once you've decided that, and you know, I don't think, I mean, it took me a really, really long time to decide what I'm gonna go with, but I don't think there's a right or a wrong answer with this. Generally speaking, if you look at your art and your art is a lot of like pastel blues or pinks or greens, you can pick that color and it will all work with your artwork as well. Or you can pick completely the opposite and go with like black and it'll make your artwork really stand out. So I think if you just pick which way you want to lean towards and then stick with it, everything else will come naturally. And then I've been, you know, doing a lot of research as I do. This is like my little obsession at the moment, in how to prepare yourself basically as much as possible for the convention itself. So I've written a little list of things that people recommend that you want to like bring. So they say bring snacks, bring food and water. Lines at conventions are usually really, really long, so if you don't have to step away from your table and line up for a really long time, that's going to be better. Bring a friend because you will need to step away at times like going to the bathroom and if you actually want to see anything around the convention. So have someone else there with you is very, very important, even if they can only step in for like, you know, a few hours in the day or something like that. Everyone says bring sticky tape, bring like zip ties, bring scissors, just anything where your table might fall apart like on the day. Bring something to be able to fix it. And even little things like sticky notes can be pretty good because you can just write like sold out if something is missing, sort of at the end of the weekend. And people say bring like battery packs or have some kind of lighting because it will help you get people over to your table, which is a good segue into the next big thing, which is how are you going to get people over to your table. So when you're at a convention, you're walking through an alley and there is stalls everywhere, like in every direction you look. So how are you going to make yours stand out from other people essentially? One idea that I have got in mind is I want to have a big poster of a free phone wallpaper, which I have mentioned before. And I'm hoping it will just be something that people will see, you know, at the start and be like, hey, that's pretty cool, let's go and like scan the QR code, and then once they're over there I can say hello to them and you know, we can have a little chat from there. Another option that you could look at doing is just have lights, have nice colors. You could have like greenery, like fake plants and stuff hanging around, like something that will just make you stand out from assuming other people's just table with artwork, essentially. I think my dog has zoomies right now. Hello? What's going on? What are you doing? Hello? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Alright, we're gonna take a moment. Okay, so another thing that is a good thing to think about before you know, purchase stock and that kind of thing is, what are your different price points going to be? So say they're at your table, they're ready to buy, they want to have a look. You don't know how much money they are looking to spend. So it's good to have at least a cheap price point, a medium price point, and then a high-end price point. So for myself, as an example, I have got enamel pins, which are going to be my cheap price point. They will probably be around $12 for the basic one. And then I have A4 prints, which will sell for about $20. This is Australian, by the way. A3 prints, which will be $35, and then I've got my limited edition prints, which are going to be like glow in the dark and have like silver embellishment and those kinds of things, which will be $60, because they take a little bit more work to actually make and create. And then my highest price point will be original artwork. Now, this is a tough one because carrying around a painting means the risk of it getting damaged. So I don't know if I'm gonna take all of my original paintings, but I might have a couple there as an option, and they might be like a couple of $100s. I know I have a Dungeons and Dragons oil painting of a beholder. I also have a Star Wars like gouache painting, so that's more on like a nice watercolor paper. And I have a pink gouache painting of like a dragon. So those are probably the ones that I think would suit the convention as an original, just as an option. You know, it may sell, it may not, and that's totally fine because I've got an online store as well. So everything that doesn't sell is going to be available online. And that's another big thing. Have business cards, have a way that people can contact you and a way that people can find you later on, because they, you know, might have already spent their money for the weekend, or they might just want to look into you later on. They might have a friend that is really interested. And then you can also have things like, I see a lot of people will have, you know, buy one print for $20 and buy two for $30. So having little bundles where people can get more than one item at a cheaper like value point is a really good thing to think about as well. Depending on the products that you're looking at doing, whether it's stickers, pins, buttons, you know, shirts, beanies, whatever, that'll depend on the pricing that you're going to do and the type of bundles that you're willing to make. Yeah, but that's gonna be like another big thing in terms of the actual products that I'll be selling there and that I'm going to be preparing very soon.
So this just arrived. I purchased it from Etsy. It is a custom paper embosser. I had to send through like a custom design, and they were really helpful in making sure that it looked how I wanted it to look. But yeah, it's so that I can put these on my limited edition prints and not have to sign them with pen, rather than just like imprinting it on the paper itself. And I think it looks really professional and really nice. So here is my round tablecloth with the crosses down the bottom. To be completely honest, it is a pretty it's a pretty dodgy sewing job. Like if you look up real close, and it'll take a second for it to focus, you've got basically stitching. Actually, it got better on this end. I think this is one of the first one, and I've just kind of got stitching like everywhere. But you know what, it doesn't matter, it's a tablecloth, no one's gonna be looking up that close. And this will lay on top of a brown sort of like leather-like tablecloth, which you'll see when I set up my mock-up table. So yeah, I think it worked out really well. I was originally going to have, so it'll lay sort of like this over the table. And I was originally going to have some embroidered letters that would say Lucy G on the top here, except they just never arrived from Amazon. So I'm gonna get a refund on that, and I might do up like a poster or something, because I don't know, I feel like if I order something again for it to get to Australia, we'll run out of time by then, so I'll figure something out. No stress. Cool.
I think one thing that is a little bit unique to me, like as an artist, is I do have some Dungeons and Dragons enamel pins, but that's basically the only small item that I sell. Like I don't have stickers and I don't have buttons or anything like that. It's mostly just prints, but then I've got different size prints and I have some original paintings as well. So we're gonna need to look at having different price points and then what those price points are gonna be and where everything slots into that. And also with my whole setup, it's got to kind of work with larger flat pieces of artwork as opposed to things that will sit on a table and that you can sort of pick up and rummage through. So we're going to work that out.
So I think I've caved and I'm probably going to order some stickers of various styles, and this one. Hello everybody, welcome to my very messy studio at the moment. Today I'm going to run stock take for my products so that I know what I'm going to need to order for the upcoming convention. Okay, so I've done my inventory, my little stock take of all my prints and stuff like that. You know, crunching the numbers, I guess. I've learned a few things. I've learned what my highest price points are, what is selling the most. As far as the A4 prints go, I haven't sold as many as I thought I had, so I'm definitely, like, in the future when ordering them, I will not be ordering as much A4 prints. The ones that have sold a lot of the time were, yeah, special edition or like already framed or something like that, so I can look into some options with that, with the knowledge that I now have, and this is the numbers that I know what I need to be ordering for the future as well. One thing that it did sort of make me think is when I originally ordered a lot of the stock that I have now, I had no idea how much to order of what, and so I was ordering like between 6 and 10 of a lot of things, and some of them haven't really sold, so that's quite a lot, and I'm going to be looking at more ordering like 5 or so in the future. But I have noticed quite a lot of artists at the Artist Alley will have something called a mystery bag. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to do up a little bundle, and it'll be a really, really good value for the customer, but it'll help me clear out some of this stock that's not really selling so well. And it is going to be a mystery bag, so in some kind of package that you can't see what's inside, and I would like to have probably 3 A4 prints, and then maybe I'm thinking I might order some stickers. I wasn't going to do this, but just to make it a little bit better value, maybe like 1 or 2 stickers and 3 prints for $25 is sort of what I have in mind. Yeah, and it'll be a way to clear some stock that I've been sitting on for a while, but also really good value for the customer. So, you know, if they're a little bit unsure on what they want to purchase, but they want to support the artist, I suppose, it's a cheap price point that they could have a look at doing. So yeah, that's like, I didn't expect to do this, but I think it's gonna be a pretty good idea. I'll probably only have a few of these packs, maybe like less than 10, maybe like 5, 6, 7, I don't know. I'll have a look at the stock I've got and how I can put them all together, but that does mean that I'm gonna have to order some stickers, but I'll get a couple of stickers with just my logo on it, so then for things like packaging, if I have a bag of some kind, I can always just put my sticker on it, and then that's also kind of like a little business card slash advertising technique as well. So yeah, just thought I'd let you know on that little update. So what I've made up here is my little tags. These I'm gonna obviously stick on the mystery bags. So I've got a few of these, and it does say 3 prints and 2 stickers, so people know what they're getting in there, they just don't know exactly which ones. I've basically printed multiple of each ticket in case one gets damaged, or I just want to put them, like scatter them everywhere around the table. So we've got a couple of 2 for 50s. I've got an original painting ticket and the metal print tickets done. They're going to be the same. This would be for my pins, which I also have this board here, and it does have like the whole set, and then it's going to have the actual pins there, and I can just stick them into the board. And then some more like original and metal print cards together. And they're just on paper. I pretty much just printed them at my local office store because, I don't know, these prices aren't forever, so I didn't want to put them on any kind of fancy card. If I need to, I could laminate them, but more than likely they'll be like, use them once, or I've got multiples, so maybe a couple of times. And then these are basically just smaller versions, but they won't have any of the original stuff on there. Oh yeah, and the limited edition. So if I have anything sort of stacked in like a pack that people can be sifting through, I'll have these tickets on them. So everywhere someone looks, there'll be a price. And then I made a few just empty ones so that I can write things on there if I need to. And that sort of gives me some movement that if I get there and I find that my pricing is way off compared to other people's, you know, that's an option. Also, actually, I didn't make any pricing for the stickers, which I only just got in the mail the other day. So I might have to write those up separately, but that's fine. No big deal. So yeah, that's how I've done my ticketing. And as you can see, everything is sort of in the theme of like the brown with the little gems on it, which is going to be the total theme of my table. So today is the 17th of October. That means that we're a couple of weeks out from Supernova actually happening. I'm starting to get kind of nervous and, you know, just hoping that I've got everything put together. But today I picked up my prints, so they're all ready to go. So I thought we could go through and have a look at them. So I've got the Drauger, but yeah, I've never seen him in print form, so he's looking really good. It's always a little bit scary because when you have a digital file, you have to make them a lot lighter and usually a lot more saturated, because when they get printed, like darker ink on a light piece of paper, they tend to look really different. So you never really know exactly how they're gonna come out. This one I think has come out really, really well. So I'm super happy with that. Oh, my Jack and Daxter print also looks really, really good. I'm glad, like I did have to brighten this one quite a lot, but I felt like I knew that I would have needed to, and I think it looks exactly how I wanted it to look. So very happy with that. Phew. Oh, Nezuko is the next one. So I got a few of her made up. She might sell. She looks wonderful. Actually, seeing it like this, the green really, really pops out because everything else is like a red or like a pink color. So I think that worked out really, really well. Love that. And then we have Rani the Witch. So these will be obviously just the regular prints. They're not limited edition or anything. Yeah, she looks great too. When I edited her, I basically kept this cyan here, but I didn't want it to look too blue because I felt like the image was a bit blue and you would lose some of the colors in the hair back here and on the like fur coat that she wears. So I think that came out really well as well. It's now like a purpley, bluey yellow color scheme. Oh yeah, and my Eclipse elf, she looks really good as well. Actually, a lot more like reds and purples came out in this than I expected, which is a good thing. Because I like, you want an array of colors, you don't want it to all just be one color. And then what do we got? There's two left. So Oh yeah, my bubble dragon. He is very saturated, maybe a little bit more saturated than the original. This was a gouache painting originally. So I'll definitely have to tweak the file for that one, but that's okay. Good to know. And then we have one more. Oh yes, Dark Vision. So this one is designed to look like a magazine that you would find in the Dungeons and Dragons world. I have another one called Chiseled, and I'll one day when I get to do some painting for myself and not commissions and stuff, I'll do some more. But yeah, so it's a tiefling. He's in a little bit of a naughty pose, and then all the things around it. These are all like relevant to Dungeons and Dragons, to the lore and stuff behind it. And then I've gone through and made up like a tiefling name and everything like that. So there's a couple of little jokes in here. But I will have this one and the other one chiseled as like a package deal. If anyone wants to buy it, it'll be sort of a Dungeons and Dragons package, and I'll probably put a pin with it as well, so then it's all kind of relevant to D&D. Yeah, but I'm super happy with the prints. There, as I said, there is A3 as well, but not of all of them, because some, like this one, was only ever painted on an A4 piece of paper, so I wasn't going to blow it up too big or else you're going to lose a lot of details. Same with the Draugr painting. And Dark Vision and that magazine one, because it's a magazine, they're not meant to be like huge, they are A4, that's how they go. Cool, so super happy with that. I'm getting very, very excited. This bag behind me, this is a bunch of stuff that I bought from Daiso, which I don't know if they have Daiso overseas, but it's basically like a bargain store, like a dollar store with all cute little Japanese stationery and stuff like that. And they had way more stuff than I even thought I would have needed, which is perfect. It's all going to fit with the color scheme of my table. I got some baskets to hold my mystery bags in. I got some racks to put the prints on. Yeah, and I got like little like sticky notes that are brown so I could write sold out and that kind of stuff on it. So heaps of things that are going to match the scheme of my table. And I bought some craft paper. So this is what I'm going to use to wrap the mystery bags in. I will most likely have them put in like cellophane bags like I normally package my prints up, and then I'll put these around it so you can't see what's inside, and maybe tie like a cute little bow or something on it with some string. So getting some ideas with this. And then I'm still deciding if I'm going to pre-package a lot of the prints like this one, or if I just bring all the packaging stuff with me and do it on the day. If I do it that way, like it doesn't take that long to package something up, and if someone buys multiple of an item, you can put it all in the same little bag. So not sure what I'm going to do with that, but I will decide in the next sort of 2 weeks. Otherwise, I think I'm pretty much ready. The table, I think I'm happy with the layout. I have been considering maybe changing the layout a little bit, but I would probably need a like stand that has multiple tiers if I do change the layout, and I don't know if I have time to get one of them. So I'm probably better off just sticking with what I've got at the moment. And yeah, but I have a whole day, like I think the bump opens at 1 p.m. on the Friday before the convention. So I have a little bit of time to go in and like figure out how I'm going to set up my table before the convention actually starts. Yeah, so I'm not too stressed about that because I'll figure that out in time. Cool, thanks for checking in. I'll talk to you soon.